Good Friday morning. I am coming to you pre-shower. This is what curly hair looks like in the morning before a shower. And I'm coming to you before shower because the topic of this email of this video today is fear, right? And there's a few things about fear that I just want to talk about. And there's a lot of schools about fear and how to overcome it and so forth and so on. And I want to kind of look at it from the angle of being illusory, like not being real. And what I mean by not being real, and you may say, oh no, my fears are totally real, is that the reason they feel real is because we have fearful thoughts. And the way our minds work, everything works from the inside out. When we have fearful thinking, our consciousness brings it to life in our bodies and we feel it. And because we feel it, we think it's real, right? That's great in theory, but what does that mean in reality? Well, it means in reality that we get in our heads and we make up stories about things, and then we make meaning about those stories we create, and then we have to cope with the story. And what we're telling ourselves is that we're coping with fear. That's the illusion to my mind, that we're coping with fear. What we're really coping with is a story we created, right? Like I am writing a book right now and I'm making very slow progress. And part of the reason that I'm making slow progress is because when I do have time to sit down and write it, I wind up with all these stories coming out of my head. It's not going to be good. I'm not going to reach people. I'm going to talk over people's heads, or what I'm going to say is going to be, no value to anybody. And so there's an element of fear there that what I will put out in the world will not be useful, right? Or will be judged. That's all in my head. That's not real. If you had a video camera on me while I'm having these thoughts, all you would see me doing is sitting there thinking. Actually, all you'd really see is just me sitting there. You wouldn't even know what was going on in my head. But these stories that I tell myself, and then I make meaning of them, of myself, like I'm a failure. I said I was going to write this book and now I'm not because I'm, I never finish anything. I'm making it mean something about me. Now, when I catch on to that, I get past it and I will do something. Now, the way I'm writing my book is I'm dictating to an app called Otter, and then that app transcribes whatever I say, and then I put it onto a Google Doc and I edit from there. Inevitably, when I see that I'm doing that to myself, I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. There's no reason why I can't do something. And I will generally do something. When I don't catch wise to it, I don't do anything. It stops me in my tracks. And the fascinating thing is there's nothing actually stopping me but me, right? So if there's something that you want to do in the world and you're not doing it because you're afraid of them and what they'll think, what's really happening is you're creating a story in your mind. You're making meaning about yourself based on that story, and you're holding yourself back. Now that's really kind of hard to wrap your head around because again, it feels real, but it only feels real because we're thinking it. There's a level of understanding I'm finding that when I tap into that particular level of understanding, I can see my story for what it is. But that ain't always the case. I got a lot of BS. I got a lot of blind spots, right? We all do. But there's something about seeing our own blind spots, shining a light on our own blind spots that allows us to get out of it. And then maybe the question winds up being for us, is this something I actually want to do in the world? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something you just think you should be doing. Or you told somebody you were going to do it, so you feel like you should. You're obligated. If you don't do it, it means something about you, blah, blah, blah. When the truth is, maybe it's just not something you actually want to do. Right? And I've asked myself that about the book. Is this something I actually want to do? Is this something I actually think will be useful? And the truth is, I spend way more time in my head thinking about this book than I do actually doing anything with it. That being said, yes, this is something I want to create. All I have to do is stop telling myself fearful stories and stop making them mean something about myself and actually get busy. So right this moment, I'm feeling fairly inspired, and yet I've got to go to work today. So I guess I won't actually be doing anything. Sorry about that. Something just popped up on my screen. I guess I won't actually be doing anything about the book right now. But anyway, that's my little spiel on fear. So if you find something in the world that you're wanting to do, conversation you want to have with somebody, something you want to create and put into the world, a job you want to go for, or something like that, and you're afraid, check in with yourself. Are you telling yourself a story, making that story mean something about you, and then believing it? Because if you are, that story is just a smokescreen. Take it from me, I have lots of smoke screens. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can brush away the smoke, right? Anyway, that's my little spiel on fear. And yeah, if you have any questions or if you want to join our Wednesday group, the link is at the bottom of the email. And until then, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.